There's something about the new Batman film that stays with you. A feeling, a darkness. When I was watching the film, I wasn't just watching a comic book adaptation, a murder mystery, or an action film. I was watching an exploration into loneliness, legacy, and identity, and how these things can haunt a person. But before we get any further into it, please consider subscribing to help support this channel so we can keep making videos like this. Bruce Wayne is a difficult character to like in the current social climate. His wealth, sex, and race allow him to live so freely that he can spend time and money on becoming a vigilante. What could be more obnoxious to a modern society to young Gen Zers than a rich white guy claiming he can save those in need? Now, as someone whose #1 demographic is precisely white males, I understand that some of you may be absolutely fuming right now, but I urge you to hear me out. Where I think many adaptations of Batman fail is in understanding the character as a human being who watched both of his parents die in front of him when he was very young. At that age, he was not interested in how wealthy his family was. His whole world was his parents, and he lost both of them in one night. I can't imagine how traumatizing that must be, so I'm surprised at how put together and unaffected many Batmen seem. I'm not saying they need to be emotional wrecks all the time, but it seems to me that the focus has been on manning up and kicking butt. This is problematic. It reinforces the negative stereotype that in order to be a man, you must be unemotional, masculine, and strong. Any deviation from this is seen as a weakness, which leads to many feeling trapped and unable to ask for help when they need it. Superhero films used to be stereotype central, especially for this particular stereotype, but thankfully many filmmakers, including Matt Reeves, are seeking to remedy this. His and Robert Pattinson's take on this well-worn character doesn't shy away from showing weakness alongside the depiction of the Riddler. When the two characters finally meet in the film, their conversation reveals that they are not so unlike one another. If Bruce did not have his wealth growing up, then it would not have been out of the realms of possibility for him to reach a similar state of psychosis as the Riddler. And this is a powerful commentary on how nurture affects nature. Sure, Pattinson's Bruce Wayne doesn't talk a lot about his feelings, and he certainly doesn't go to therapy, but that wouldn't be realistic considering his position as an elder millennial who's been brought up following the stereotype and then told he is allowed to have feelings. To cope, Bruce has developed a persona that he can hide behind, and though his mask may be more elaborate and look cooler than most men's, it's there for the same reason, to make him look and feel stronger, to hide from himself and from having to face difficult emotions. This is a normal human method of self-preservation that has been increasingly discussed and destigmatized in order to help remedy the very real negative effects that it can have on people mentally and physically. There's a beautiful moment of growth when Bruce takes Alfred's hand. It's a simple, sensitive gesture, but it shows Batman is taking a step in overcoming his fear of being vulnerable, and it makes him far easier to empathize with than other Batmen. We also get glimpses of this character growth when he persistently tries to stop Catwoman from making the same mistakes he has. His journey is symbolized by his catchphrase, "I am vengeance," which changes its significance and meaning by the end of the film. Still, Bruce carries the shadows of his past with him, and they imbue the film with a heaviness similar to another DC adaptation, Joker. In that film, Joaquin Phoenix presents an equally moving take on a well-known character, but his fate, like the Riddler's, shows once again how important it is to have a strong familial and monetary support system when overcoming hardship. If you'd like to watch my full review of Joker, then feel free to check out the link above or in the description below. So what do I mean when I refer to this Batman as being post-millennial? Well, I know it sounds pretentious, but I mean it to represent that the character is of the millennial generation, but the film feels like it has a Gen Z mentality, at least to me. The emotional root of our hero is explored without needing a dramatic "my parents died" flashback, instead choosing to focus on his present actions. This is also true of the villain and, I suppose, the co-hero, Catwoman. She breathes life into the sidekick space of the genre. Yes, she's attractive and uses that to her benefit, but it's not because she's vain or naive. She has had a difficult upbringing as well, but she utilizes what she has whilst also learning how to fight in order to create a better life for herself in a small apartment with her family of cats. Let's be honest, she is 100% influencer material and would be a hit on TikTok with her tutorials on how to make cat ear balaclavas. Less care is taken with the mobster characters of Falcone and Penguin, who very much are your typical gangsters. Equally, Commissioner Gordon is rather monotone, but his rapport with Batman is truly wonderful. I especially enjoyed the attention that was brought to how illogical it is that Batman gets this free pass to all crime scenes, though I'm sure that this comedy was masking the lack of logical reasoning. The murder mystery element of the story, which critics have compared to films like Seven and Zodiac, very much match the darker tone of the adaptation. I did enjoy trying to guess what was going to happen next, the multiple twists and the riddles, though I feel like Batman should have taken a little bit more time guessing the riddles as he knew the answers immediately, which kind of diffused the tension and made it seem like solving riddles was one of his hobbies. Equally, Alfred's code deciphering skills were very convenient. Nolan's Batman trilogy is similar in terms of how engaging it made the twist. It is a spectacle of a trilogy with the action sequences and the acting, especially Heath Ledger's Joker, but it relied on the spectacle over the realism. Though there is still a quirky quality to many of the characters in Reeves' Batman, the emphasis is definitely less on making things cool and more on making them meaningful. This is evident in Pattinson's Batman costume, which prioritizes utility, from the bat logo to the contact lenses. His fighting style seems created in order to expend the least amount of energy, though this may be to prevent heat building up in that awfully tight-looking suit. Equally, the score is captivating, not because it's overwhelmingly loud or dramatic, but because of its persistence. It builds slowly throughout the film, and it complements the slow-burning rage of that Nirvana track, which beautifully top and tails the film. Overall, this Batman adaptation is not out to blow your socks off with extravagant CGI or stunts. It focuses on taking a sympathetic approach to this fantasy character, and is a step towards breaking a stereotype which is as meaningful on screen as it is off. Should Reeves be allowed to make some sequels, I would love to see the same attention given to the lesser characters as the main characters, and even more risks taken with the realism. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to see more videos, and comment with your thoughts on the topic. Which comic book character do you think deserves a bit more TLC? For more film content, feel free to follow us on Twitter, Letterboxd and TikTok. Links in the description. Otherwise, this has been Tea Break Film Reviews. My name's Michelle, and I hope you have a great day.